Hi everyone, I'm back with a new review, this time dedicated to a Spanish author, so we're going to talk about vocabulary and in Spanish level that you need, because as far as I know it's only published in Spanish. But I'm really thrilled to bring you this review because I feel it's one of the best books I've read in this year of 2018 so far, and I feel like you need to know her. This is the book I'm talking about. This is La ciudad de las sombras, which would be something like the shadow city, I guess, but it's my own translation, so don't trust me. By Victoria Álvarez. Victoria Álvarez is a Spanish author dedicated to paranormal, kind of period drama sort of book. So this is not set in, her books are not set in modern times. It's not contemporary. It's more, normally she's more focused on Victorian kind of stories, but this one is the beginning of a trilogy called Helena Lennox, and this one it's set during the Roaring Twenties, during the 20s. So this book in particular tells the story of Helena, a reckless teenager whose life is actually very dedicated to adventure and investigation because her parents are archaeologists. So one day her parents are assigned a special mission in India, so they decide not to bring her with them, which means that she, due to things that she hears of the city that they are going to visit, she heard that this city is kind of a legend, and it's a very kind of almost like cursed city. She decided to follow them just in case they get into trouble. So she runs away and starts a journey through India to get to find her parents. And this story is very, very unique because it also links a previous trilogy. This is a YA book, but the previous trilogy I'm talking about now is an adult book, an adult trilogy actually. So the main characters of that trilogy, which is called Dreaming Spies, they are actually Helena's parents. So if you follow Dreaming Spies trilogy, you are able to see your main characters becoming sort of a parental and motherly figures. In my case, I've only read this one, so I don't have that background, but I know that there's a lot of Easter eggs related to the original trilogy. So why I like this book so much? First of all, I like this book so much because I love like non-contemporary settings. So through this story you can see how the author has done a lot of research regarding archaeologist routines, also about the time setting, the time period where this is set. You could actually feel in the way she's writing the rhythm of the jazz at the beginning of the novel, but also when the scenery changes and you go to India. She has done an amount of research that I haven't seen in a while, but she doesn't give you all the details like in a long list sort of bragging of everything that she has learned. No, she introduced the proper elements needed for the story in a natural way, so you are discovering India with the main character, with Helena. I also love this story because it's a paranormal story, so there are ghosts and there are legends, and these ones are actually based on a real life legend. So the way you experience the paranormal itself is quite spooky, and I'm not into horror books, so it's the kind of a spooky that scares me, but I'm intrigued to follow follow the reading, follow the story. And I love that all of this is combined to be as natural as it can be, and also it is shown, or it is presented to a main character whose journey you are taking. You are with Helena the whole time, so you are able to experience everything that she is experienced. You are able to see the cultural differences between British, the kind of colonial British, and the India world, the India culture. And India, I must say, that is about to break in the war of their independence from the British Empire. So you can see also the civil and the civil protests regarding the need of independence, and all of these, apart from being historical accurate and historical events themselves, you are able to experience it through Helena's eyes, which is a British girl, but she is basically living not in England, so for her having this cultural shock, even if it's big, because she hasn't been in India like never, you can actually see how she is able to empathize with the autochthonous people, because she is not accustomed to the British kind of etiquette, or she doesn't care for that matter. She's not used to being a lady in a proper English way, so she's more open-minded than the rest of the characters, or the majority of the characters in this case. And I love how that sentiment is installed in Helena, so she's able to meet other characters who have their own set of ideas, her own set of beliefs, political and religious and whatever. So she's presented with a male character whose stubbornness is basically as big as hers, but you can see how even Helena and this male character that I'm talking about, they have their own reasons to believe what they believe, and they are wrong sometimes because they don't know each other, they don't know the cultural differences that they have. But also, I love how through that mistakes, you can see that neither of them, or neither of all the characters shown here, are actually flawless. So you have this kind of human, complex character that may make mistakes. And believe me, Helena does make a lot of mistakes. So to me, this set of characters, complex characters, focus on a period time that I adore, is actually amazing. And the way the story is driven by the mystery, the mystery itself, and the paranormal kind of spooky elements of it, it's almost like you are slowly taken by the story. You're slowly wanting more and going farther and farther away. The only flaw that I would say this novel has is that near the end, a lot of some of the things happen really quickly, like, oh, this is fixed. And maybe it's because I want more of Victoria's Álvarez enormous way of writing, but I wanted a little bit more explanation, a little bit more like complex ending. But I must say that even with that, the ending is actually well resolved, and it ends in a cliffhanger, so you are like dying, as I am, to pick the second volume, which is publishing soon. And I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of cultural reference here. There's a lot of importance of understanding each other, of being open-minded, of respecting other culture and other beliefs, mixed in here with a prose that you could almost feel like you were living inside the stories, because the description and the way of narrating the situation is too real. Now, I must say that in order for this to work, the prose is well well selected. The words are really well selected. Obviously, when it comes to describing certain buildings or certain interiors, house interiors, words are exactly the ones that they have to be. So to me, as I am not an expert on architecture at any rate, I had to look up some words. So there's a lot of technicalities regarding buildings, regarding archaeology kind of tools. But if you have a high level of of Spanish, like you are able to follow a good conversation with a vast amount of vocabulary, and also if you are already used to, or you already have read books in Spanish, I think for this one you need a high level of knowledge. But if you actually do, and at some point my review has touched something in you, I feel like you should pick it up because you're not going to regret it. And also, I must add that this book, if I'm able to find it, this book is actually illustrated. So through this book you have illustrations that like are whole page, black and white, beautiful illustrations that I really like. Now it's a trend that is very present in Spain and which I adore, so that's good. Let's look at the elephant. So here you have Helena in a scene, in a very nice scene where she's confronted, or she's like, no, let's see if you are able to see it properly. I need to check. So here's Helena, as I said, in the middle of India with an elephant, having a little bit of experiencing the culture. And these beautiful drawings, as all the interiors, are drawn by Helena Lennox, which is the artist of it. I will leave all the details down below, don't worry if my pronunciation is not correct, you will have it written down below. So if you really like well written books with really nice illustrations, you should pick this up immediately. I don't know if you have read any Victoria's Álvarez book before, but if you have read any kind of historical books, that it doesn't have to be paranormal, but it will be a plus for me. But have you read any historical book set on around the 20s that you want to recommend me? Maybe some Victorian as well. I'm really looking forward to historical settings. And if it's based on a real kind of event references, it's even better. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope that if at some point you manage to find this, you pick this up. You're not going to regret it. See you next Friday. Bye.